record.
Hi, I'm Luke Adams.
Hi, I'm Rose Johnson.
Hi, I'm Taylor Ramser.
And I'm Addie Applin, and we're doing our project on the bioengineered supplements in nutrition, and particularly their vanilla marshmallow protein crisp bar. So we just want to start with an overview of everything that we're going to cover because there's a lot of information. So this presentation is just going to start basically with basic information about BSN and their supplements, as well as their strategy, objectives, research, target audience, all of that stuff just about BSN. And they have a lot of great products, but there's some things they need to improve on to create more or improve sales and create a more lasting relationship with their consumers. So we have a lot of ideas to improve BSN, including a new advertising and media plans. We'll talk about sustainability ideas, a timeline, a budget, and then the overall plan evaluation. So we'll first start with the situation analysis and company objectives to give you a better idea of the company.
Hi guys, this is Taylor and we're going over the situation analysis and company objectives. So first, again, just like Addie said, we'll be looking at BSN. They're a global leader in sports nutrition. They have product categories and protein, pre-workout, energy, recovery, performance, and merchandise, and they also have some great innovative and unique partnerships. Alrighty, so BSN was founded in 2011 by two bodybuilders in Delray Beach, Florida. They were acquired by Glambia Performance Nutrition in 2011, and Glambia's portfolio also includes companies like IsoPure, Slim Fast, Think Thin, and a lot of others. All right, so what is BSN doing as a company right now? So they are dedicated to producing cutting edge and result producing products. They also make better tasting high protein products, not like those grainy ones that we're used to. They want to tap into broader markets in order to reach a variety of consumer types. They provide products globally through their broadened distribution and unique partnerships. They also appeal to consumers through bright packaging and their transparent ingredient labels. Now we're going to go through their SWOT analysis. So they have many strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Their top strengths are their global distribution to over 90 countries, also their B2B and B2C sales. Their unique sponsorships of bodybuilders and athletes is also a great asset. Their sleek packaging and product designs catch the eye of many consumers, but mainly males. Their partnerships with Cold Stone Creamery and their celebrity chef Aaron Sane is also a great strength, and they're owned by Glambia Performance Nutrition. Their weaknesses include that their company website and social media pages focus on that narrow target market of bodybuilders, while their company claims to have a broad target market, and their brand portrays themselves very masculine, leaving a lot of females out. Their opportunities are to introduce new product categories that can appeal to women, like collagen supplements or health and nutrition supplements. They also have the opportunity to have future partnerships with other big name brands, and they can also sponsor well-known athletes and social media influencers. Now on to BSN's threats. Their current competitors and new entrants are a big threat. We never want someone better than us. Also, if BSN does not continue to innovate its product lines, they could fall behind other can't think of the word, competitors, sorry. And then if bodybuilding and weight training for some reason became completely obsolete and unpopular, that would be a big threat to BSN and their products. And if bad press or unsuccessful results came about the company, that would be terrible. And if Glambia's investors began to dwindle, BSN could see great effects from that.
Okay, so now for the IMC objectives, there's three main ones that BSN currently has for the coming year. They include addressing the 2019 challenges, growing their leadership position in their market, and then developing talent, culture, and values in line with their growth ambition. So to begin, they struggled in 2019 financially, so they definitely want to work on their international sales and improving them. And then they also want to sell to a wider target market because, like Taylor said, it is very narrow right now and focuses mainly on bodybuilders. Next, they also want to grow in their market. They want to continue creating healthy products that also taste great. They want to continue making products that are gluten-free and dairy-free and low on sugar, vegan, things like that, so that they can reach out to those consumers that have those dietary restrictions. And then lastly, BSN and their owner, Glambia, want to develop a stronger relationship with their employees, and they want to learn more about their cultures and different things like that, and they want to have employees that have the same goals as their company.
So going to the IMC and market strategy, this kind of bounces off the objectives and how they can get to what their specific goals are. So they definitely want diversification, and this will be staff with athletic backgrounds holding the company's core values. They should use men and women and also implement influencers. So starting with their staff, they want with the company, they definitely want people to have the correct body types and lifestyles to make sure that they're fitting with the company's image and values. And the way that we're breaking this up is the HQ staff will hold these values, but then online with their social media and website, they will have influencers because they're professionals at social media and mass engagement. And this will just help in the long run because they're a very visual brand, but this kind of goes into their branding where right now it's pretty masculine. And I'll emphasize this more in the target market and segmentation, but we recommend that their branding becomes gender neutral, increase representation of women, and then demasculize the current branding because of like the colors, the way that their website is, and their social media.
Next, we have the market research. So just talking a little bit about what BSN is already doing. Geographics, BSN ships to over 40,000 retailers within the US and distributes to over 90 countries worldwide. So they have a really big reach. Psychographics, as we talked about before, they're very targeted towards weightlifters, bodybuilders, those who are very athletic, who play sports or compete in some type of athletic event, or people who are just nutritionally mindful. Current efforts that they're doing, they're focusing a lot towards pre-workout and post-workout kind of recovery. So whether that be protein after recovery to make sure that you have muscle gain or pre-workout to get that energy going beforehand. They also have a lot of diverse protein crisp flavors. As we talked about previously, their partnership with Cold Stone has been a huge advantage to them as well, kind of bringing people in who still enjoy sweets but also want to live that nutritionally healthy lifestyle. They're also attempting to target all audiences looking for a health conscious snack option. We've also talked about that previously and we'll continue talking about it. They say that they want to reach a lot of people and all different types of people. However, that seems very narrow just from the impression you get from their website, colors as we talked about previously, things like that. And then they're also doing B2B, meaning that they sell to other businesses, and then also B2C, where you can actually go to BSN's website and purchase the protein crisps for yourself as a consumer. Their current RNA, BSN opening and uses some customer information to improve advertising. And they do openly disclose that on their policies on their website. And then they also provide that to a third party. They say that's to improve advertising, to improve packaging, ingredients, and just kind of seeing what consumers want for their new products. And then on the next slide, is continued market research. So the protein crisp market, there are a lot of other competitors within that market with a lot of different similar products. As you can see on here, Snap is one of them. They also have the vanilla flavor, marshmallow flavor, chocolate, peanut butter, all types of different things. So that can kind of be even bigger competition. BSN might need to step out of the box a little bit more in order to stand out. And then they also have similar ingredients, comparing calories, protein, carbs, things like that. A lot of the stuff that the nutritionally healthy people are looking at, they're all very similar among different brands. And like I said previously, there are a lot of competitors in the market with similar prices and things like that. So a few recommendations that we have for them is to set the company apart, whether that be packaging, whether that be their website and who they are marketing to, or even flavors, things like that. And then also to reach beyond serious athletes. They say that they do, but like we said, the impression that you get from the website isn't as such. So a little rebranding there. And then also rebranding the products. We'll talk a little later maybe about different types of packaging for sustainability and things like that.
So for the target audience and segmentation strategy, this bounces off of the previous strategy we were just talking about, but it's more of an in-depth look. So their current target audience is their primary one is male bodybuilders. The packaging is very masculine because it's red. There's like sharp angles for the logo, and the slogans are basically plays on like workout terms. because there's this one that says feast mode, and it's basically like a play on beast mode. And we think that they should kind of reposition that to be more gender neutral or like motivational rather than intense. The secondary is female bodybuilders, and this is honestly, there's only maybe 3 photos of women on their website. Every other photo is males. So but they all kind of hold the same segmentation, which are athletes that live a healthy lifestyle. They like intense workouts, but then the food, like the protein crisp, gives them recovery and some fuel. So the future segmentation and the direction that we think they should go in is definitely more imagery of women, still keeping men, but making it more of an equal environment. Gender neutral packaging so that it appeals to a wider audience, which also translate to their website and their social media. And then when we talk about their packaging, basically they should have more of a prominent function on the labels, because one of their big ingredients that they advertise on their website and products is synthesis. And if I didn't know what that is, then I might be turned off to go to that product. So kind of correlating everything will definitely help with their future segmentation and target audience.
Okay, so this slide's just about the advertising plan that BSN currently has, and then what we think they should use to improve it. A lot of it is what we've been saying continuously, but to begin, there's just a lack of overall advertising in general for BSN, which can be why they're not selling as much as they'd like to. The main advertising they do have is in health and fitness magazines and through earned media, which I'll describe more about later. But they have a lot of competition with other supplement brands, so they need to make sure to increase the amount of advertising in order to stand out. The photo shown below is a current ad that they have now. As you can see, it has really dark colors and bolded fonts, like Luke was saying, and it can just definitely appeal more to men than women. And so they need to start creating more ads that appeal to women as well, and even including them in, if they're going to advertise in health and fitness magazines, maybe creating ad in women's health magazines and making them a little lightening the colors, making a softer font just to appeal more to women. The ads that include models are often male bodybuilders as well, so including more women would be helpful. And then it can make, using bodybuilders in general can intimidate people, and so they need to be more inclusive in their ads in general. And then continuing with advertising, we feel like social media is a big one to use. They currently post on Instagram, which is helpful, but they need to create more brand awareness. Like I mentioned earlier, they use earned media. They have bodybuilders like Scott Herman and Lizzie Martinez, who are both pictured on the right. As you can see, they're very extremely fit athletes, and they have around 100,000 followers on Instagram. In our opinion, we think that BSN needs to include other influencers that maybe have a little more of a following and maybe aren't as fit and not as much as bodybuilders, so that they can connect more with the consumers and create more brand awareness with other people besides bodybuilders. They also currently don't have any Instagram or Facebook advertisements purchased, so they need to purchase those, and they can be really helpful because they can use big data and provide their ads to people who have been searching and trying to find protein supplements. And then next, BSN should also consider adding YouTube advertisements, because currently fitness influencers are really popular. And if BSN was to include an advertisement prior to an influencer's video, they could create more brand awareness, because the people usually watching those fitness influencers videos are going to want to be looking for some sort of supplement. So that would be a great way to include that brand awareness. And then lastly, BSN's website, as we've said before, it's built to appeal to males and just has really dark colors. And so they should definitely try and become more inclusive and not direct it so much toward those bodybuilders. And then we also think it would be helpful to include customer reviews. There's none currently on the website, and adding those customer reviews could connect the consumers together and just inform them that BSN, it's not just used for bodybuilders, and the average person can use it as well.
All right, so now we'll be going over the overall media plan. So we'll be going over our media objective recommendations. We really want to see BSN increase consumption from consumers living a variety of lifestyles like we've talked about, not just bodybuilders and these amazing athletes. We also would like to increase brand awareness. Again, not enough consumer types know about BSN's products and how those could fit into their lifestyles. Also, we would like to become the #1 choice among consumers looking for a healthy and delicious nutrition and supplement products. Next, we'll go on to our media strategies. We would like to see BSN implement advertisements that show a variety of consumer types using BSN products. This could be advertisements, showing moms on the go using the protein crisp bar instead of just a bodybuilder eating it after their workout. We would also like to see them implement beginner to advanced at-home workout videos on all of their social media platforms, especially during this crazy time with COVID-19. Right now, they have some at-home workouts that are posted on their Instagram page, but they're kind of difficult and don't appeal to all consumer types, but none are listed on their YouTube channels or on their website. We would also like to see them increase the number of online advertisements, as Addie talked about before, whether that be on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or Spotify. That media strategy seems to propel companies really far, and right now BSN is not participating in that at all. Next, we're going to go into some public relation campaigns. First, I'm going to talk about the show stealers. So right now, BSN puts a amazing athlete onto their social media page, and they see them as a show stealer. They send them a free package of BSN products and feature them doing a kind of crazy workout things on their page. I love that idea, but I would like to feature those who are not just in great shape, but that change the world in some way. This would appeal to way more consumer types than them just featuring bodybuilders. And these videos would create a positive, more inclusive brand image. So it would maybe show like a doctor who also leads a great lifestyle, is helping the world, but also is in great shape and are using BSN's product to better themselves. Next, I want to talk about the college campus events. So BSN could host fitness events on college campuses in their recreation centers, just like Half Acre. They would showcase their products, and students could even win some of their products through small fitness competitions. These events could lead to partnerships with big athletic collegiate programs. So like the Cowboy football team could then be partnered with BSN and use their products, which would be a great opportunity. Next, we're going to talk about some fundraising events. So I think it'd be great, since BSN is a nutritional and supplement company, that they could host events like kilometer runs, workout classes, or even recipe competitions using BSN's products. This would not only bring people together after this great pandemic, but they could donate all proceeds to COVID-19 efforts. Next, I want to talk about a female empowerment campaign. Similar to like the hashtag Like a Girl campaign released in Always in 2012, you guys remember that? It showcased women that were doing hard challenges and were going through life, but using the Like a Girl, that they could do those things, but it made them even stronger. So I'd like BSN to take a page out of their book and feature women who work hard in their daily lives. And this ad could show women accomplishing goals on one side of the ad, and then them working out with BSN products on the other side, showing that BSN products are for a variety of consumer types, especially women, and also encouraging women to lead healthier lifestyles. Also, for my final public relations campaign, I thought it'd be great for BSN to run a recipe campaign. As mentioned before, BSN provides a lot of recipes using their products, which I think is a great strength. Not a lot of other companies do that. So these would be featured in their top nutrition and fitness magazines, and the ad would showcase a BSN product being used in an at-home recipe. Also within the magazine ad, an insert containing what product is being used, and the recipe would be attached in the ad so consumers can try that ad at home. I think this would promote sales greatly. It would show how diverse BSN's products are and how they can be used instead of just in a normal protein shake.
So for the sustainability and ethics plan, they kind of go hand in hand, but the big proposal is that, or the biggest issue that they have right now is their current packaging. With their reach of 40,000 retailers, that entails so many customers, which means they're producing all of those products in their plastic packaging and foil for the bars. So it's an ethical concern because plastic pollution is just a really huge thing that's hurting our ecosystems, our health, animal health, and it's a big concern because people aren't recycling and it's kind of like piling up everywhere. People can't handle the infrastructure, so it's like ending up in the ocean. But for our human health, it can leach into the chemicals can leach into our products, which ultimately can cause many things to go wrong. But when it ends up in the oceans or landfills and animals are eating them, if, for example, if a fish is eating plastic that's broken down in the ocean, the chemicals are still getting into that fish and then it gets into us. And it's basically like a closed loop system. But they can stop this by switching to glass or paper packaging, which is much more easily recyclable. And customers will also notice this as like a move towards corporate social responsibility. And customers in general are becoming more educated these days. So they'll notice those changes and they'll appreciate that for the company. And it shouldn't be too much more expensive to make the change. So moving on to the timeline, this is definitely a loaded screen, but it kind of breaks down everything we've talked about and more. But we proposed that starting in January of 2021, because all of these changes would be very difficult to execute by the end of this year, especially with the pandemic and everything that's going on. So starting in January, you can see that it's basically a large brainstorm on how to like change packaging, get influencers involved for social media, hire some new staff, make sure everything's super diverse. And that's just kind of like moving on through the first like quarter of the year. And you can see that as it goes to May, that's when they would release all the new packaging. They'd start releasing PR articles. They'd launch the new packaging in stores, and then obviously make and promote and put out seasonal type content, which that's very good for this brand because like bodybuilders, summer, it's just a good time to like release new packaging. Everyone will be aware and ready to buy new products. And then as we move into the fall, we go into what Taylor was talking about with different PR campaigns in like school. And towards the end of the year, I thought that they could come out with like a limited edition type packaging and have a huge Christmas sale. But this overall calendar just gives a nice visual representation of what we're proposing.
So next we have the preliminary budget. So we have basically two big recommendations that we just decided to look into for BSN to see what the cost would be. So for budget recommendations, the first is just as Luke talked about, package redesign from plastic to paper. So over here on the right side of the screen, you can see these yes bars. This is actually a Nestle product, and those packages are actually paper. So it's not like the packaging would be distasteful to look at, or that it would get soiled if the packaging got wet in delivery or anything like that. They can be very clean and sleek, and like Luke said, without the side effects of pollution, toxins in our body, things like that. That would cost the company around $673,000. We did that by taking the total revenue times the average packaging cost, which is about 1.4% of the total revenue. Or the other way you can look at that is 4 to 5 cents for plastic, which is obviously cheaper, and then 8 to 10 cents for paper. So this is definitely an investment, and we would hope for BSN and really expect as well that once you make these sustainable and ethical choices, that you would gain more of a consumer base and therefore gain more revenue and profit. So hopefully it would pay itself off. The next thing is our social media campaign, which would cost around $6,000 to $7,000. And that kind of depends on where you're posting it. If it's on Instagram, it could be a video or a picture. Facebook's the same story. And then on YouTube, it actually costs the amount of how many times it is clicked on and for how long the person has viewed the ad. So that can kind of vary. But it's a situation where you would need to have something that's very creative in a very short period of time. So on the next slide, we have our IMC evaluation plan. So in the question of how often should we evaluate this entire plan that we just talked about through our presentation, I would say every 6 months, the shorter the better. With our social media and paper packaging, I think it's really important for the customer to look, or for the company, I'm sorry, to look at if customers are responding well to it. And as we'll get in on the next slide as well, but if we're gaining revenue, if sales have increased, anything like that. Sorry, can you go back to the other one? And then why? This allows for maintenance. It allows to see, like I said before, if the plan is gaining any asset to the company financially, customer base wise, like I said previously. And then also, just because of the multitude of the teams within the corporation that is involved in this whole process, you have the accounting team to see what assets and revenue looks like after this is done, finance with the same story, marketing, the people who are putting out the campaigns and creating them, sales, the people who are out selling the products, how are customers responding, things like that. And then on our next slide, this is the marketing plan evaluation checklist. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but just going through, this is what the company may use just to see if this marketing plan is successful for them. So the return on investment, sales revenue, how are customers responding? Positively, negatively, have they said anything about it at all? Is it worth changing? Goal achievement is a goal that is the reasoning behind the creation of this marketing plan being achieved? And then social media page success. Have you gained more followers, clicks, interactions, more comments, things like that? Company image. Has the overall company image improved? Has there been positive word of mouth? Do you find yourself popping up on Google maybe higher on the page or more often? Market research expansion. Is the company able to reach more of an audience? Is the consumer base becoming more by and large? And then lastly, actions of competitors. I thought this one was really interesting after just researching marketing checklists to see if competitors are following suit. So maybe other competitors in the market will start changing to paper materials. That's a really good sign. Maybe they'll also come out with new social media campaigns and changing their website to more gender neutral, things like that. That's a really good sign as well. And then on our next slides, we just have our reference pages.
And thanks for listening to us, and we hope that you go out and try some more BSN products.